Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today with Rebecca Woodward, who is a beautiful, amazing leader in the light worker community, who is a social worker, a therapist, a counselor, and many other things a founder of a nonprofit. And she's doing amazing work in the world. I'm so excited for us to chat. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Willow. I told her to come down. We are just getting started on the conversation part, so we're not going to do cards for another like 25 minutes. Okay? So go do some more.
It's been 30
It
minutes.
hasn't been 30 minutes, but it's been a little longer than I said. It's okay. Okay, so go do a little bit more school, get another sticker, and then come back down.
I finished all my stickers. It doesn't give you another one.
Okay, well, just do it anyway. Okay?
Yeah,
Okay, do you want to say hi to Rebecca?
it says not even ice.
Do you remember Rebecca?
Hello. No.
You don't? You met her a bunch of times. She comes to
No.
our house.
Oh yeah, you showed me the garden.
Remember how
The
tall?
tall girl?
Hmm.
Yes.
There you go.
Tall girl.
Rebecca's 6 foot tall, everyone. Now you know. Okay. All right, come on. I'm gonna go talk to her now.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye. See you in 25 minutes
Can I show her this?
when you come back.
Uh-huh.
Bye. Okay, so Rebecca, tell us a little bit about how you came to be the multidimensional healer, light worker, therapist that you are today.
So I was interested in energy healing, and Reiki is the only variation of it that I was familiar with. And so I booked a Reiki 2
Well,
course
you
with
got Reiki
you.
1 then, right? You were already Reiki 1
I,
attuned.
yeah, I was Reiki 1 attuned in
And when did that
2019,
happen?
2019. And it didn't really I just didn't get it still. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Uh-huh.
So then I went to you in 23
That
for the
one.
Reiki 2 attunement. And that's when I sensed my loved one in spirit, which I was not expecting. I was, or the person that I did Reiki on was actually drawing, and the colors that I had seen were the colors that she was using to draw her picture. When I
Yep.
sensed a loved one in spirit, I saw a star in the middle of her picture. There was a star, and my
Amazing.
mind was like blown.
Yeah.
And I'll preface this with, and this is how I explain it to people. Like I just grew up very like Western culture, very like science, like Gia mentioned, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, so it's like evidence-based practices, and
Mhm.
and just in my family culture and community culture, it's very like prove it. A lot of people with agnostic views, atheist views, and so that's just like kind of the community and family culture that I
Mhm.
came from. So this was like
Mhm.
mind blowing. And
Mhm.
I remember saying like I was a little overwhelmed, but I was also really intrigued with that experience. And I knew Gia offered, multidimensional healing. And I was like, I want to like understand all of this.
I love it. I
And so
remember that
that
day so well because remember you were like I was going to offer a class and like you were the only person who signed up for it and I asked Spirit like if I should cancel it or not and they were like no, do not cancel.
they said
And
invite me to your house. And so
yeah,
I
no,
did.
instead
Yeah.
invite her to your home. I was like, okay. I was baffled by that one, but it was
Yeah.
obviously the right thing and meant to be because then we immediately, and you happen to have the same birthday as my husband. We like immediately hit it off. And we mentioned that you're 6 foot tall and I'm barely 5 foot 2. And so that was also like a fun thing for us to be together. So it was a really cool special day. I remember that a lot. And yeah, you were like, I think I want to do the whole dang thing. And I was like, okay, girl, that's awesome. And then you proceeded to just like crush it all the way through. And that was amazing to witness as well.
Yeah. And I think we're exactly at 2 years, just about, cause well, a little over, because I did it November of 23. just I think for me and having that experience too, like recognizing how detached you can be from your body, from your intuition,
Hmm.
just recognizing like how that can be so prevalent with like people
Hmm.
in general, but like my clients too.
Uh-huh.
It just was very eye-opening. And I think that was like intentional that I had to go through that. Like it was that big of a shift for me, or that I was
Hmm.
that detached in a way.
Hmm.
Um, so that's what I'd say
No,
about
say
that.
more. That's, I think, really important about people being disconnected from their bodies and like what is that
Well,
about? And why? Why do you think people are disconnected from their bodies?
so I think that when we are connected with spirit, source, ourselves, right? And like as a clinical therapist, what I really trauma focused and I've been at that for 10 years, a little over now.
Hmm.
And so what I would always say about trauma is like it disconnects you from your connection with self and others.
Okay.
Like that's the mark of like the imprint of it. And so what reconnects that is spirit. It's like spirit connects you with yourself, spirit connects you with others. Why do I think we're disconnected? I I think from intuition, which is ourselves and spirit, right? Um, when we're connected with our intuition, when we're connected with our bodies, we're empowered. We can't be controlled. Not by a partner, not by a government, a larger source, a religious
Yeah.
group. And I think there's fear in that for people, but it's the way to live liberated from my perspective.
Yeah, I feel like
For
a lot
all
of
of us,
for all of
even,
us,
mhm.
I think a lot of people are afraid of what it means to take responsibility for themselves and to like be empowered or powerful or to, have to face the reality that maybe what we're experiencing or what's being offered to us isn't necessarily for our best. Again, whether that's a bigger, larger source or a partner or I don't know, a demon. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be anything,
Yeah.
literally, right? Anything that takes from your sovereignty, anything could control you,
Yes.
anything could put you in victim consciousness, a disease, a diagnosis. I mean, everyone seems obsessed with being diagnosed with something. And I'm sure you have a little bit of a background of us being obsessed with diagnosing people with things as well. And I think that in itself can be really problematic because we
It
know how
is.
powerful our minds are.
It's very problematic. And this is something I've become like there is a lot of people identify with like being neurodiverse or like ADHD. And while I
Yeah.
can recognize that like yes, like I just think there's such a spectrum and I think there's a lot of people that fall on the like there's a lot of people that fall on the spectrum that are like highly sensitive or like have trauma symptoms and I'm like that doesn't necessarily make like mean you're neurodiverse and then like with neurodiversity too it's like what is that because all our brains are different and
Right.
so
Like,
it's
isn't
just like
neurodiversity normal? Like,
I would say
I mean, I
so.
don't mean to be an ass, but like that's just what my logic tells me. I don't even think that's spirit. Like I'm just like, aren't our brains all different?
I would say so, but I think there's this when you say like this obsession with diagnosis, but I
Yeah.
think it comes from this like people feeling like something's wrong with me, which
Yes.
is out of our sovereignty. And
Yeah.
so now I need to make sense of it. So now I need a label to give it. And like
And
I
victim
think there's a
consciousness too, right?
I
I mean,
think
it's
there's a
like,
time and place for it because I think like if somebody's on a healing journey and like that, like I think that that can serve as like a place to get them even further where they don't need to attach to that.
yep, I
But
do
I,
too.
I I do see it. I personally feel like it's diagnoses are extremely problematic, and not helpful, and they definitely don't resonate with me. And I'm very transparent about that with my clients. And if I
I
have to
love
make one
that
for
about you.
insurance, it's like adjustment.
It's
It's
just for
like one of the
insurance
like the
purposes. Beep boop boop bop. Yeah, like
and it's the most
yeah.
generic thing, or it's like PTSD, because I think everyone has symptoms of, chronic dysregulated nervous
Right?
system, chronic
Right.
stress, that
And you ever
stuff.
hear people, by the way, hi Kim, thank you for the people I tagged for coming to say hi. And people I didn't tag, like thank you, Rachel, for coming to say hi. She's such a supportive friend. And Pam also so supportive. Thank you guys. Ask questions if you want to. Rebecca says hi too. She doesn't have Facebook. Um, I hear people all the time saying things like, I am ADHD. Like they literally say, I am that. Like out loud, regularly, multiple times a day. I am PTSD. No, you're not. I am OCD. You am a lot of things. But like I don't think you are a diagnosis. And as soon as you're claiming that as your whole self, like you're in trouble. Like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
know it does give people like a framework to work with. I mean, I feel like my whole family is got neurodivergent things. Like if I wanted to, I could go get a diagnosis for every single one of us, I bet.
Yes,
Pretty
you could.
easily.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
easily.
I,
Um,
but, and I think that, that it's a little problematic. I think that anybody like can go and get a diagnosis pretty easily. And I think that is also
that's sort of part of
problematic.
the issue.
And I was when I first got curious about diagnoses. It was when I was working with kids. I was working at it's called a psychiatric rehabilitation program. Um, and we had like, I think right around 100 kids. And I remember looking at it one day, but I want to say like at least 70 to 80% of them were diagnosed ADHD. What I can also say about all those kids is like most of them were in like living in extreme adversity, whether it was like domestic
Right.
violence in the household or like poverty, period. Like,
Mhm.
and so I was like, how are all these kids like, how can it be determined that they all have ADHD if they're all having these experiences within their homes? And like, then why are we putting them on medication? And I got really curious about that. The other way I got curious about it was then, so I did that for 4 years. And then I worked in the prison system, which I worked in for 5 years. And I would have
You worked
clients
in
come in.
public school? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I did work in the public, I've worked in every
No,
sector
when
just
you said
about.
prison system, I was just making a joke. Like
Oh, yeah.
just being
Well,
an ass. What?
I think it's a fair. I totally see that. Um, uh, so in the prison system, people would come in, adults, and I would, ask, I'd be doing an assessment, like, have you previously been treated? And people would start listing off like 6 diagnoses. Like, I mean, and it was so common that like people would come in and like, I have ADHD, I have OCD, I have bipolar disorder, I have depression, I have anxiety. And I'm like, okay, so you have the entire DS. Everyone has
So
the
this whole
entire
book is
DSM.
yours.
And
This is your journal.
I was like, this can't be like this can't be it.
Right.
Like these people can't be every single diagnosis. And I was also taking ACE scores. And so, and the highest, the average, if anyone's unfamiliar,
Yeah,
the
tell people
ACE.
about ACE scores. I think that's a really great thing for people to know if they don't know about it.
Yeah, so it was it's the only longitudinal study that was done on childhood adversity, which is a 10-item questionnaire that's 5 questions of abuse or neglect growing up and 5 questions of household dysfunction.
I've taken it
Was
before.
Me too.
I'm a
The
winner. What about you? I scored
winner.
like so tops of the class.
And my score got higher the more I was like honest in my healing. I feel like when I started, I was like, I don't have an 8. Like I don't have one.
I'm
It's not
fine.
me in my 20s. Um, so anyway, this study, if you had 4 ACEs or more, what they found is people were more likely to have um, health outcomes,
Like
which
autoimmune
was.
issues, diseases, maybe even cancer, right? Like things like that,
Yeah, well, that's the
diagnoses.
interesting part is what it found was like, yeah, people were more at risk for suicidality, depression, but not, and substance use disorders at a much higher
Right.
rate, but not only disorders, if you will. Not only was that true, but even if somebody didn't pick up, bad habits, if you want to frame it that way, they were still more likely to have higher rates of cancer, autoimmune diabetes, and that's because of the nervous system, the over release of cortisol, the
Yeah,
overactive system. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
and the other thing about that study that was interesting is that I like to highlight is it was 70% college educated, 70% white.
Hmm.
Because I think sometimes we tend to think like, oh, like people with like success, like people that have these accolades aren't
Mhm.
experienced. that's not trauma. It's everywhere. It's in every home. It's in every household. And
Oh,
I think sometimes when
100%.
it's dressed up as success, we don't even like, it doesn't register the same way, or we don't treat it the same
Totally.
way.
1000% true. And both in our own experience as well as when people are looking at, right? Like the person who experienced it as well as the person like diagnosing or looking at them too, or just people in
Mhm.
general, like their opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so true. That makes so much sense. You know what else is always like, and Rachel just said something really cool. She said so many people are misdiagnosed just because they're psychic too. Um, right?
Well,
But
so
yeah,
many things to say about that.
me
Yes.
too. Put a pin in it for 1 second because I also just wanted to point out this one like logical fallacy that like nobody talks about, and maybe I'm just crazy or making it up, but like there's a really, really strong connection between your gut health, your microbiome, and like your mental wellness.
Yeah.
As soon as you take a pharmaceutical medication, your gut is being disrupted, no matter how much you need that medication. It will fuck, I mean, it will interfere with your, I have an editor now. It will interfere with your gut. So like, it's literally like working against what it's supposed to be doing as soon as you start taking it. And it's always like boggled my mind why we do this.
Yeah. I
And
know.
I don't even have, there's no, I mean, I'm not looking you to answer it.
No, there's just so much to be said about medication for mental health. I think, in a very broad statement, we want to
She said
feel.
1 infinity%.
Yeah, yes. I just I feel like with my like license, like I have to leave like the 0.001% where we use it. Well, and honestly, like
I'm not saying medications aren't useful from time to time, but there's just this one big glaring thing that seems like such
well,
an obvious factor that's being ignored.
but the way that I even feel like it's like helpful to be used, I never see it utilized that way. Right? Like I feel like it's helpful to be used and if somebody's having like let's say suicidal ideation
Okay.
active,
Mhm.
um put like antidepressant and then like you work with like brain spotting and we do things in therapy to increase your tolerance for
Yeah.
like the discomfort of the emotion so that we can decrease the medication, but
Yeah.
I've actually never in my
That
lived
makes so much sense.
experience witnessed it used like that, even though in theory that's how I would say it's best to be used.
Yeah.
I think um uh, so
That's
that's my
perfect and profound. Like that makes so much sense. Like to use it that way would make so much sense. Like I don't think that it's not for anyone ever. I really don't.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
just
like if it's the capacity, if I really don't have the tolerance for these experiences and I'm trying to like I'm trying to remember how it almost gives like a floor, like I can like now feel it like it's tolerable, then I can like start to make it more and more intolerable. But
yeah.
the what I see is like because I haven't seen it done in the way theoretically I think it works,
Yeah.
which I'm sure it has, right? Um, is that people are on the medicine, they're not, then they don't they want to use it as a like avoidance point.
Well, it numbs you out most of the time. At least
Yeah,
the way it's
or
being
like now
used,
I'm not
right?
gonna do the brain spotting in therapy, or now I'm not going to do the
Right. I don't have to. I'm fine.
deal with the trauma. And
Yeah.
I think the other problem with it, and this is going more into like a systemic and like cultural thing, but where we do live in a culture, Western culture, that is like fast, produce, get to work, pick up your kid,
The
like
Matrix is traumatic in itself.
yeah. So I feel like even in my healing, like I was kind of put into this place where I was running my own business and like if I needed 4 days off that week or I just wanted to schedule, like I had this space to then tend to myself and we're not taught that. And there's this pressure in the Western culture too. I think healing can be a luxury within Western context to some degree if you feel it. I have to do all these things. I have to, and then you really have to
Mhm.
start helping people question, like, do you have to? Why? Why do you have to do that?
Mhm.
And I think those shifts in mindsets can be really difficult because again, like if this is what I've known to be true for so long, then it not being true can feel unsafe.
Yeah,
So.
it can. And it can be really scary and overwhelming.
Hmm.
And like some of us don't want to be empowered, you know?
Well, because we want to feel dependent. Dependence can be comfy, right?
Yeah, it's easier sometimes to like just receive whatever's given to you,
Yeah.
without
I want to
having to
talk
do too much work.
about
The
what
psychic, yeah, and me too.
Rachel
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah, me too.
because
So yeah, do you see this? Do you see this where people are
I have,
diagnosed as like schizophrenic or even
well,
maybe not schizophrenic, maybe something else, like,
I have
you
a
know,
theory
what's your
about
theory?
this because I'm going to share some demographics. I feel like I had a
Okay.
22-year-old. Okay, so I'll preface this with the onset of schizophrenia clinically in our Western model is 18 to 26.
Okay.
I had a shaman refer a 22-year-old who had gone to Shepherd Pratt, which is a psych hospital.
Hmm.
She
Familiar
was
with it.
put on, I want to say 3 or 4 medications. I know 2 were mood stabilizers because we need to put you on 2 mood stabilizers at once to start when you haven't had
Okay.
any.
Okay.
So she was put on 4 medications. So the shaman had gotten a call to go to this girl's house, like did like a clearing on her. And she referred her to me and she when she explained what had happened, she had thought she was getting images that somebody was like following her. And they were violent and or like it was like somebody with a knife. And so she what I was able to talk through with her was like that was clairvoyance. Like I was like, when was your last interaction with this person? And this person had been at our house and I said, well, what was that like, what was it like how did it, what was the interaction like? She's like, oh, well, like they left mad. And I was like, oh, so you picked up his energy, you
Mhm.
saw something like a vision from speed. It doesn't mean you're actually going to be attacked, but it was like that, like, you know, this
Metaphorical
person like,
maybe, or it was like a
well,
psychic hit of some
it was a
kind or some kind of
psychic
scene.
hit. I definitely think it
Mhm.
was like a clairvoyant vision. But this person ended up going off of their medication. And so her paranoia was increased. She was way
Really?
more paranoid on the medicine. We ended up like she got off of it and she was the most stable I had worked with her off of the medication. So my theory is I believe that when people start having their
Hmm.
clear experiences, they
Hmm.
get put on antipsychotics. And you're probably familiar with this, how like when, people in like shaman training, I think, or whatever, and will get told like, be mindful of using like illicit substance like ashwagandha, because if you're really exploring, like, I don't
Ayahuasca?
know, like with
Hmm.
acid, like you can get stuck essentially.
Yep.
I think that's what psych meds do. I think that antipsychotic psych meds also make people stuck. And so I
Think
think
so.
that is where schizophrenia develops, would be my like, and it might like
That makes a lot of
I
sense.
feel like there could also be room for like a case like where that's not, completely true, or like some of the people that I've worked with that have been diagnosed with schizophrenia or present some of those symptoms, like I do think there can be like impacted brain development from really severe early childhood trauma.
Mhm.
um and I think that there are times when there's like a 22-year-old that's then put, or 18-year-old that's then put on all these medicines, and like then they can't, like they're paranoid, like they can get those symptoms can really manifest and increase. So
I
that's my
agree with you completely. I mean, when I worked in a psychiatric hospital right after I graduated from college, they were actually talking about pre-schizophrenia diagnoses to like 10-year-old little girls. And this was in the 90s, late 90s. So I don't even know what they're probably saying now. Probably they're probably just slapping it on there, or I don't know, but like they were like, yeah, I mean, you can't officially diagnose her yet, but she's schizophrenic. Like that's what they would say.
I
Like they
also
would,
didn't know this until recently, like within the last year, but also like, the United States where the one like we prescribe children psych meds way more than
oh
any
yeah,
other
more than
country.
anyone in the world.
Like other countries are so much more discerning. It's almost like a, if nothing at like last resort. And like here we're
Mhm.
like, oh, put them on a medication so they can sit in prison, the school.
Right. So they can sit still in a seat with 30 people that are the same age as them because that's how you socialize. You just hang out with like 30 people that are your same age. That's normal. That's like how everybody is social in life, right? You only hang out with like 30 people that are same age all the time.
All day
So
long.
super normal, super socialized. So like you sit there the whole time, if you can't sit still, if you can't like do everything
Yeah.
that they want you to do exactly in that way, and you can't go to the bathroom when they want you to or eat when you want to eat, you can't, it's like then
You
you
can't
should be on
listen to
medication.
yours and then
If you listen
nourish
to
your
your
body.
body, you should be on medication. That's basically what it feels like to me. Like, but
Yeah, and I think, as far, everything we know about emotions and emotions being stored in the body, like if a kid needs to scream, like let them scream, right? Talk about emotional suppression. If I
yeah.
have to sit in a classroom, especially for a brain that's mostly functioning from the limbic region and needs to
Right. Like
to
they're
function in
kids.
that
Their brain
way.
is not our brain. Like, and how many adults do you know that can sit still and focus for 8 straight hours with short little breaks and go outside 2 times for 15 minutes and have a 30-minute lunch? Like
Or that
nobody.
want to be, or that like would
Or
want
that
that
feels
level
good
of
in
like
some way.
control over their autonomy. No, they would be
Yeah.
like,
Like
I'm
I don't
not
know one
working
person
somewhere
that
that
was
makes
like
me
that.
do that. Like,
Yeah,
sit
like what the
down.
hell, man? But yeah, so like we want to medicate them as soon as possible. Now, I have a light worker I worked with, as I mentioned before, Darius Mabodi. I went through his like whole program of healing, this like light body program that he has. And while I was doing some of my last sessions with him, I had a few questions because I was being sent students who were having like what felt like psychotic breaks. So they would come to me seeming fine. I would do something with them, like a session or a training, and then they would start having these get stuck on the astral or be paranoid or can't sleep and spirits everywhere and like almost like they open too wide too fast or like
Yeah.
something was happening.
Yeah.
And several of them were actually previously medicated with a specific product that was very popular between 2021 and 2023. And so I don't know if that did or didn't have anything to do with it, but there was definitely a commonality there with like that plus a spiritual awakening. I don't know because I don't have enough data to like figure it out, but it was interesting observation.
Yeah.
But when I was talking to him about that, he was like, what I've seen. So he was a surgeon, a medical doctor, and then he worked for big pharma for a long time. And then he has spiritual awakening, started seeing like dragons on the operating table, and was like, okay, I'm gonna probably have to move in a different direction. Um, and did, and now he's a light body surgeon. So, what he says that spirit shows him is that when they're given these medications, it actually pushes the soul out of the body. And therefore attachments entities can easily come in rush in like and there can be, I mean, the first person this happened with, I'd never seen so many entities in someone's field before in my entire time of doing this for a decade. Like I was just like, how did this happen? Like what is going on? Like it was like insane to me. And like we straightened it out, we figured it out, but like when he said that to me it really resonated because it, like what you said, it's like they get worse.
You know what's interesting about that from like that multidimensional or like shamanic perspective is that I had a client too that I was like like looking at like the medication regimen and I was like maybe we can talk about this at some point like and they got so agitated with me and like yelled at me and I
Well,
but it's interesting because if there's an entity attached and I'm
right.
saying like let's
The
get that
entity's like,
entity
don't
out of
take the
there, it
medication.
was
That's
like
how I live here. Like, I'm
yes. And
like,
so
yeah,
that like just hearing you say that was like oh my God, that like that's
yeah,
what it was. Wow.
yeah. It gave
um
me a lot of bells and whistles too when he said it. I was like, and he said, it's true of some synthetic drugs too. Like he was saying, like, sometimes things will open you all the way up. Like he was saying, like cocaine's going to open your throat all the way up. Like, and so then it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to come in? What's going to come out? Like, it's very unregulated. It's not balanced. It's like,
mhm.
and so ecstasy is going to open your heart all the way up. Well, what's going to happen next? And so like, he talked a little about that stuff too. And I found it also to be so fascinating. But yeah, very, very much resonant that the psychiatric, um, medications, are pushing out that, like that God self kind of,
Yeah, yeah,
and like disconnecting them with their higher self and so forth. And,
yeah.
um,
And I there I
unfortunate.
I think too, what I've noticed is like people learn to not trust themselves
Hmm.
without it. And that's what I saw
Yeah.
with this person. And I've seen it in other people, personal and clients, where it's like, if I'm not on this medication, I'm not stable. I can't trust myself. It's like the messaging. And like, that's
Hmm.
heartbreaking, kind of, you know?
Really sad.
That people really feel like they can't, because my belief is that we all can have, can have the autonomy and can have the regulation and can have and if we are having a big emotion, that it's like, I'm going to go on a little bit about this, but again, it's like, it's okay to scream. Or for me, like crying is such a big release. I
Hmm.
went on a walk I mean, probably like few months ago now, but like, I just had a really hard conversation with my dad, and I just it was a Friday night on the Inner Harbor, and I was just bawling. And but I think that should be like, why, like,
So
shouldn't that be what we see?
good for
Like
you,
shouldn't
like, yeah.
shouldn't we, like, why would I again, like, I wouldn't like hold in my poop, or most people don't hold in their poop if they have to poop, or like, so why are we gonna hold in our tears? Like, why can't we just let our like toxin that was released from our body, like sweat, roll out
It's such a
when
good
it
way to
needs to
release
roll
cortisol.
out?
Cortisol too, right there. They've actually studied
Oh.
tears and there's cortisol in them.
Mhm.
So, and you have people who like can't cry and they're like, I don't know why I have this autoimmune disorder. And
Yeah.
I do.
No,
Um,
I'm like such an advocate for crying. Like, I feel like I talk about it with my client. I'm like, did you cry?
I know. Well, I mean, it's like so good for you.
Yeah.
It's so good for you. Kristen Scott, who is another multidimensional healer, doctor, therapist, says plant medicine has shown me fascinating things about psychotropic meds, not a hole I would choose to jump into. So, so Kristen has taken, ayahuasca or psilocybin or whatever different things to expand herself. And, a lot of times when you're under the medicine, you can really see like
Yeah.
what you aren't seeing with your regular 3D eyes. And I think what she's getting at is that what we're talking about, she's seeing, which is also like so crazy and cool and also sad. So, but very validating.
Yeah.
I
Well,
always love when like the plant medicine matches up with like my third eye vision. I'm always like, yes.
yeah.
Uh, I love it. Give me
Yeah.
the validation,
It's
baby.
so it's nice getting confirmations. And I think that's like, it's almost like a light post. Like, okay, we're on the right path. Like we are,
Uh-huh.
Um,
100%.
and I do think that what I can also say about medicine, even though I've worked with people that are taking it, but like working with predominantly like marginalized communities. So I started to notice this in the jail, like people did not want to be medicated. They were tired of being called bipolar. Like they don't want, like, people were tired. Like I don't, like, I'm not letting them just like put me on another pill. And on it, like I would say, in a very 3D perspective, like if we want to cultivate change, like really listen to the voices of the oppressed and what they have to say.
Right? That makes
Um,
a lot of
but
sense too.
I do think that people are, and I think especially in Baltimore, I love Baltimore. I feel like it has like character and grit
Sun City,
and
baby.
resistance.
Mhm.
Uh, but I do think that people are like wanting ways that feel holistic, or ways that don't feel like they're being capitalized over, to live, to be, not even
Yep.
heal, right? Like to live and
Just
be.
have function. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What do you, because now we've chatted so much about this amazing topic and I love it so much. I want to make sure that you share a little bit about like what your offerings look like and your nonprofit, and just talk a little bit about yourself for us. So
Yeah.
what you're offering, how people can receive what you're offering.
Yeah, so I have a private practice that is Ancestral Roots Reiki. I am shifting to, well, I strictly do somatic psychotherapy, which is something with mind body. I mean, well, why leave talking? I mean, talking is an organic part of it, but really using modalities that help with that mind body connection, grounding into the body. Which is good for people that practice, or that have open clairs, that practice spirituality too, because it's working on that nervous system, it's working on that groundedness, and like connecting with their body, our physical 3D body. part of
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
So I do brain spotting with that. I do EFT tapping.
Mhm.
And then I'll do other like mindfulness stuff like body scans and guided imagery.
Mhm.
So aside from that, I do multidimensional healing, very similar to the sessions that you offer, you know,
Mhm.
pretty much essentially that. And then my latest thing, because I've always said when I'm doing Reiki, I feel like I'm doing more than Reiki.
Of course.
And so
You're doing multidimensional healing.
it is.
I was actually surprised that you named your business Reiki because I was like, but she's doing so much more.
I know. I don't know what that was about in hindsight, but I'm
Well,
sure it was
probably it's
intentional.
actually very like it's probably really good with marketing because people are like, what the hell's multidimensional like nobody knows what that is.
Well, I think
People have
like
heard of
similar to
Reiki.
me, like Reiki is like, oh, Reiki, like that
Right,
term.
people
And
heard
kind
of
of
that, right?
expand
Yeah.
awareness from there. But it's funny because now I'm not going to offer Reiki anymore. So what I'm going to start offering
Right. I
is,
know I've been there. I've been there. I know where you're at.
yeah, well, so my other offering is Biofield healing. And that's
Love it.
part of, and I'll start talking about the nonprofit. That'll segue into the nonprofit. Um, which will be like, maybe I will see a dragon, right? But it's very nervous system focused. I just know that I'm channeling like multiple, multiple dimensions. Like it's Reiki and some, right?
Yep.
But it's nervous system focused, it's regulation focused,
I love
fascia focused.
mm,
And so that's my other new offering that I'm playing around with. And
love
then
it.
again, like I'm for those that want that type of energetic support and just don't, they don't resonate with dragons. That's totally okay, right? Like meeting people where they are. And so having it be more like, I'm noticing, clinical in a way too. I'm
Yeah.
noticing some tension around your head. Do you mind if we spend some time here? Or like,
Yeah.
how is that for you? What are you experiencing?
Hmm.
So that is like the new model that I'm going to be rolling out. And then to segue into Roots of Her is my nonprofit that I'm founding. I should say co-founding because Spirit has really aligned me with some really amazing people that I will highlight. So Dr. Stanley Andrees is one of the founding board members who is the first, to our knowledge, tenure medical school factory that's previously incarcerated in the
Wow.
country. And
That's
he
so
has a nonprofit, Prison Cells to PhD, where they help expand access
that's
to
incredible.
resources. So he's on the founding board. So is another nonprofit founder in Baltimore City, Trina Selden, who founded Out for Justice. And they do really great policy work to help expand, like shift policies in a way that they're more humane, essentially.
Yeah.
And they've been around for 20 years. They're amazing. And then my other two founding board members is the supervising attorney from the public defender's office that I worked with when I was in the prison system, who now works in immigration law, which I find a lot of irony in because I've been getting very pulled to start to outreach to all community, like, to outreach to the Hispanic community. I've also been getting called to learn Spanish, so I started that. I fell off. I got to get back on it as I'm talking about it. So her, and then there's another colleague I worked with in the jail who's now the human trafficking navigator for the Midshore region. And
Mhm.
so Roots of Her, I founded it because I wanted to find a grant for energy healing, essentially for Ancestral Roots Reiki. And then I was like, oh, like a nonprofit status, you can have, there's more opportunity for grant funding with that. And then I realized, oh, this is turning into a whole organization. And so that our intention for that will be to provide those healing modalities, but also to research them. And we are working to. I have like a verbal agreement worked out with the University of Maryland Baltimore School of Pharmacy's patient
Wow.
program,
That's
who's interested in researching this. So there's a National Institute of Health grant that we're looking to apply for, but I'm working out those details. So
that's
that's
so
the
big.
yeah, expanding the access to the services, and then also just putting it out there, like measuring it, like for the science people, putting it in
Right.
silent science language for the science people.
Right. Like
And
imagine what that can do. Imagine what that could do. Like that is epic.
yeah, Yeah, really good. Yeah.
that's like world changing shit, dude. Like I'm so proud that I got to like be part of your journey and your training. Like I'm just so like amazed at what you're doing. Like it's so amazing.
I'm excited to watch it like continue
Yeah.
to grow. I go through like these moments of like, oh, things are aligning, and these moments of like, nothing's happening.
It's so
Which I
fun. I
think
mean,
is
you're
like
doing big things and you have been from the beginning. Like you've
the
never done anything small.
the entrepreneurial journey too. And I think like I just go into things so blindly.
That's
Like
good. That's good. That's that day of bliss. What you're the born on the day of the blissful wizard on the cusp of magic. Like, what do you think you're gonna do? Like, you're
that. But it's been really cool, and I'm like, oh, I am an entrepreneur. Like to me, like I think 6 months into running a business, you're like, oh, that's what entrepreneur like. And then I like look at what other entrepreneurs are doing, what they're saying, and what their experiences. I'm like, oh, this is part of it. Okay,
yeah. Oh yeah.
like
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah,
It's a thing. I mean, it's not like we were talking about in the beginning, like being empowered is not a cakewalk. Like, but
well,
it's
and I
worth
think
it.
it's really interesting too in my and having of salt energy healing as something to offer, and then it literally transformed my life. I was in and out, and that's the other reason I'm so passionate about like F talk therapy,
Yeah.
because I was in and out of it for 10 years, and
Me
also
too.
like I studied in
I
London,
did
right?
talk
Like I
therapy
went
for
to
a decade. Hmm.
I know what all the top trauma experts are like. I know the latest modalities. Like I know
Yep.
and like I still couldn't figure it out in my own life. And like
Right.
there was so much shame in that for me.
Right.
Um,
And we're like in the field. Like I was a psychology major. I was
yes.
going towards my master's, and one day I was just like, F this. I was like, this doesn't even make sense right now. And I mean, like we're in the, and I still like couldn't until I got into spiritual healing. And then it was like I healed more in a year than I'd healed in 15 years. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
completely different person since I started to awaken spiritually. I don't even recognize like sometimes like my friend Honey is like, "Do you think you're a walk-in? Like you kind of seem like you're so different." You're like, "Maybe. I don't know." I guess I could check that on my morning reels. Am
I
I a
think it's
walk-in?
really
I'm
beautiful though,
sure
and
everybody on Instagram really cares so much to know. I'm not.
I think it's
Um,
like I'm seeing some of the I'm seeing the shift in people trying to figure out like how do we include this in, and like in a lot of the clinical frames that are for trauma that are like
yeah.
top of the field right now. It's like parts work, right, where we have all these parts, which is
Yeah.
multidimensional. And I just saw like so that's called internal family systems. I just saw like a
Hmm.
internal family systems of spirituality. So I think that like we're trying to
Hmm.
figure out there's like this.
There's a way to combo it. And there's so much of that going on. Like it's such a ripe time for new things. It's
Yeah,
really beautiful. It's our time. It really is
it
our time.
really
It's
is. It
amazing.
really is. And
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know, it's
just so
exciting to think about like
Mhm.
how, what that can look like in the world, and like what that can look like for people to be embodied and living in their purpose. Because that's another thing I'll say. I think that we also will have symptoms if we're not living in alignment with like our purpose.
100%. And like
Because you're
most
gonna
people
need
are not.
something to flag to like put
Right.
you back to pin you back
Right.
in.
Totally. You're just so right. So it's already 11:30. I have to take Willow to class in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but I really want us to do a couple cards. Rachel wants one, and
Mhm.
there's three people on, so hopefully that means that it won't take too long. If anybody else wants a card, we'll do a card for you. We'll do a little reading before we wrap it up. Is there anything, how can people find you? Is there anything else you want to share? I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have you back because I feel like there's like so much that we didn't even get to that like we can unpack around all of the stuff we were talking about. Like, don't you think so? Like, we'll do this
Yes.
again for sure. We'll do this again for sure. Um, okay, I'm gonna pull from Keepers of the Light for Rachel. If you want to pull your own card, you can, or you can just read off this one,
I'll read off.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then if anybody else asks for one, we'll read them. And if they don't, then we will say goodbye. And they can catch this on the YouTube. Okay, Sharon's commenting on the other one, so let me go see if she wants one. Sharon wants one. Okay, so Rachel, then Sharon, okay?
Okay.
Um,
My hands started getting really hot.
it did. I
Yeah.
really need to change my personal settings because they're all private, and then I try to move it to multidimensional living, and people are like, we can't see this. Because I guess if I'm not their friend, they can't see it. So um I need to make my Facebook profile more public. Okay. Note to self. Rachel got Master Buddha. Increased awareness. She's a very aware person.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm immediately hearing like expansion in her work.
okay, say more.
Um, Not new offering. Almost like more visibility.
Hmm.
Mhm. I'm like, how can she do that? What is more visibility? I'm hearing like more in community. Like, are there people I'm seeing like there are people you can partner with. Almost like because I was like, is it more virtual? And it's like, no, your like visibility is virtual. Like you are visible in a virtual space. And it's like what I'm seeing is like being more like yeah, being in community. It's almost reminding me of like collabing or if there's like which I think I've like seen that she does. I don't know you yet, Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
She said, I keep getting that. Sweet. Nice.
Okay, cool.
It's hitting. Keep going.
More.
No, if there's more, you
Oh,
said you don't know it yet, but you're seeing, I interrupted you. So if there was more, I like didn't want to cut you off. Deep connection, trust your more in person. That's what I was hearing. Yes, Rachel, more in person. And I think that's what you were
yeah.
kind of saying. And you're
Yeah.
right. She does have like she just got monetized on YouTube a couple of months ago, and it's been like a huge thing for
Oh,
her. So you're right. It's awesome, right? She's like very visible on the virtual space right now. She's been working really hard to get there. So it's really amazing. She says she has a monthly meetup and it's this week. Um, but yeah, I get more in person like group classes and other kinds of
I was
like
seeing it almost like host like bigger than group class, almost and I think she does. I think I've seen that like retreat or like all day or like collab and like be.
yeah. That makes so much sense. She definitely does retreats. But like I was seeing, this is online, this piece, but um, you remember, and Rachel and I have talked about doing this together before, but I wonder if that's what's like coming up right now, is that you know how sometimes like Diana Cooper and like that dude she always works with, who I can't think of his name right now because he stopped coming up in my Facebook feed, but I really liked him. Anyway, they would like do stuff together. Someone will tell me who it is. They would like do like a workshop together or like an offering like meet your unicorn and open your soul star chakra, something like that, and it would be like a webinar and it would be like okay, it's $10 a person, and like they'd have like 500 people, like it would be like crazy, like, and it would be like an hour long offering and they'd be like doing a guided meditation like that. It's basically like what was happening. Nothing wrong with it, but like Tim Wild, thank you, Rachel. And so like, I was kind of seeing that.
I hear
Like,
yes, like I immediately hear yes for collaborating, and like what I even was getting as you were
I
sharing
know
that,
you've been wanting to
like
do
I
this.
think as I think we all do, are kind of seeing like different people like like get curious or like um almost like a really like basic like something like for the newbies
Yeah.
like you and her like having like a guided like a guided meditation for the newbies like a really like
Just
entry
opening
level
it, like entering into
spirituality.
spirituality, opening
Yes.
up your, that's
And I
fun.
think that you do, I'll speak from personal experience. I think you do a really good job holding space for us because I reflect on like maybe some of the things that I question that now I'm like, how did Gia even not be like, what are you saying,
Oh,
Rebecca?
really?
But I think, yeah, I just think
Thank
like
you.
you recognize like we are where we are in our journeys and you understand it's a thawing out process. But I
It
can think
is.
about like things where I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that light language or like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. No, that means a lot to me. Thank you. I've got that feedback as a yoga teacher a lot. And so it's nice to hear it in the space because like, it feels like it's part of who I am. Like I really um teaching people is such a like a rewarding and joyful experience for me. So, to get that kind of feedback feels like great because it's my heart, you know.
Yeah.
So it feels really good. Thank you.
I could see you
Um,
guys doing something like that, like being, and I love, like, I think there's just so much power in doing it together. And then also, like, I'm right, like, I'm getting it as like how I used to do like group counseling in the detention center. But if I had like another set of eyes in there, another it's just help. Like
It really
you can
is.
see more, like you can
It's so
like tackle
helpful.
things better. But
I mean, look
yeah,
at the reading. Look how much information we got just bouncing back and forth, right? I
yeah,
mean,
I
it's
got
so
just
cool.
like this. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Sharon before I have to go, before Willow's late for cooking class, because she will be so mad at me. Okay. Um, she loves it so much.
I love that for her.
Quantum Oracle for Sharon. Let's give her something
Love
yummy.
it.
What time is it? Don't tell me.
11:37. Time do you have to leave?
You're welcome. I should do just card pulls sometimes, um, with like with you, with Kristen, with Rachel, like just card pulls with one other person. Just start
Yeah.
like just going. It'll be pretty fun. Should do it. I might do that more on Instagram though. I got commitment for Sharon and it's upside down, but there's no block here. It's just commitment. And the person is like doing what looks kind of like automatic writing. But maybe not. I mean, it could just be that they're like lit from the thing that they're writing, doing, or learning. I mean, I think, and I feel like I have gotten this for Sharon before, and maybe other people too, but I get that it's like she needs to keep moving forward with her education around spirituality. Like, it's a very simple message, but I think it's like very
I
true.
heard commitment to path, and then I started to think like I think I have I think I did a session for Sharon in my training.
I think you
Maybe does she also
did.
do real estate?
Yes.
So I like I get the same thing. It's just around like, and so the way I receive it is like, right, it's not block, but it's like commitment to the path, like one foot in front of the other, like keep the momentum,
Like,
even
don't be
when things
stuck.
don't,
Keep going.
even when things don't feel like lit with it. Like I don't even know if she's offering things.
I don't think she
It's
is.
like yeah, keep going with it. Or yeah, if she's still in like a or is in a personal part of the journey, just like one foot in front of the other, kind of. Like
Mhm.
there doesn't have to be a, fast pace.
Like I
Oh,
also, and I
go
say
ahead.
this all the time to my students, but I feel like I want to say it to her.
Mhm.
And it's that the work will prove itself every time, but like you can't get that unless you do it. Like you have to go do it in order for you to get that like confirmation and excitement and ignition that you're looking for. Like you have to take that step and let spirit meet you. You can't wait for spirit to come grab you and like bring you there. Like you have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
go forward. Whatever it is, go forward. Like keep going. Even when it feels mucky. Like you're like it's muck like it feels mucky, but keep going because you'll get out of that muck and it'll get
Yep.
better.
That's where I think that's where I was going, like one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you. I hope this resonates, Sharon. Because I think she has like lots of gifts. And I think that she will, when she does like kind of get to that place where it starts feeling good and in the flow. You know how you kind of get over that hump and you're like, yeah, I like doing this. This feels good. This is fun. Like,
Yeah.
I like this. Like,
Yeah.
when she gets to that spot, like, she's going to be like, oh my God, like, blah, 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 like so lit, you know? And it's like there's this whole community waiting for her. Like, that's what I feel like there's this whole, like, they're just sitting there, like, whenever you're ready, we'd like to receive. Like,
Yeah.
please
And
open the
it's
door. They're in the Zoom waiting room for her. Are you ready?
yeah.
We
Yeah.
need you. Like it feels like that to me. So, um, sooner than later. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. Everybody wish me luck to get
Thank
to cooking. It was
you.
such a good conversation with you that I could not stop it. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for blessing me with being part of my program and my life. And thank you for all the work you're doing in the world.
Thank you too.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya. See you guys later.